Mushrooms are fungi that produce large fruiting bodies. They belong to either the Basidiomycota or the Ascomycota phyla of the fungi kingdom. Colloquially, the term mushroom refers to the fruiting body. However, the whole organism consists mostly of an underground mycelium. The fruiting body makes up only a few % of the entire mass. Similar to plants reproducing through seeds, mushrooms reproduce through spores. On the underside of the caps of the fruiting bodies, spores are formed. Spores are released in enormous amounts. A single basidiomycete mushroom can release over 1 billion spores per day. Duendes collect mushroom spores from fruiting bodies using different implements such as scrapers, vessels or sponges. Duendes grow mushrooms on dry logs of different diameters. The hard work of felling trees and cutting the stems and branches into manageable logs is done by beavers. The lumberjack duendes are amazingly strong and can carry even very heavy logs to the cultivation sites. The spore collectors bring their harvest to the inoculation sites. Spores are placed on a suitable substrate such as nutrient-rich plant seeds or wooden plugs. The spores will germinate and grow into a mycelium, a process called inoculation. Depending on the growing conditions and the mushroom species, the mycelium will take over the substrate within 2 to 8 weeks. Mycelium consists of thousands of delicate, interwoven filaments, just one cell wall thick, with highly active cells that serve many important functions. The inoculated substrate is referred to as spawn. The spawn in turn is used to inoculate the logs. However, it is not enough to place the spawn just on the wood. To avoid infections with unwanted fungi or bacteria, 3 steps have to be taken. First, the duendes call woodpeckers to chip out holes in the prepared logs. Second, the spawn is pushed deep into the holes. Third, bees come and seal the holes with their wax. After log inoculation, the mycelium takes up to 10 days to grow from the spawn into the wood. To take over the entire log, the mycelium needs an incubation time of several months. In this time, the mycelium colonizes the outer cylinder of available sapwood. Precise watering is important. The logs have to be kept moist but not wet. The bark should be allowed to dry out after spraying, otherwise parasitic fungi might settle on the logs. Fungivores such as bacteria, parasitic fungi, insects, slugs, or mushroom-loving mammals pose threats to the fungi cultures. Constant hygiene and vigilance is necessary to protect the incubating and fruiting cultures. The larvae of cerid flies, also called fungus gnats, can feed on the cultivated mushrooms. To biologically control those pests, Steinernehmer nematodes are mixed with water and spread on the affected areas. Fruiting is triggered naturally by seasonal changes such as higher temperatures or longer daylight. Mushroom cultivators also induce fruiting by briefly soaking the logs in cool water, a process called shocking. 7 to 10 days after shocking, the mushrooms start to fruit. The first stage of fruiting is called pinning because the first mushroom caps are small like pins. The young mushrooms are highly vulnerable and have to be protected against cold and windy conditions. The harvesting period of mature mushrooms takes 1 to 2 weeks. One incubated log gives 3 to 4 mushroom harvests. For thousands of years, duendes and fungi have lived in mutualistic relationships. Duendes cultivate mushrooms in a semi-natural environment and help them to proliferate. In return, the fungi produce nutritious fruiting bodies and medicinal substances. Both sides benefit.